This is Canelo Alvarez. We all know his great career as a boxer, and we also know that several UFC fighters have been challenging him for a long time. Currently, Canelo has no rival in the ring, so he decided to get a new challenge and move to the UFC octagon. And Dana White, of course, is interested in the money and fame that Canelo brings to the table. So Dana decided to call one of his guys who was retired to make a mega fight. We are talking about Nate Diaz. Canelo's first opponent will not be easy, but he is confident to succeed in the UFC. Canelo started the fight looking for his boxing combinations and managed to land a good punch, but Nate immediately took him to the ground. But surprisingly, Canelo was able to get up quickly. Canelo was on his feet and landing good punches, and Nate was using the Stockton slap. Nate was pretty hurt, but we all know Nate is better when he's bleeding. In the second round, Canelo was looking for the finish, but Nate landed a left hand that wobbled Canelo. After that, he recovered and landed a punch that sent Nate to the canvas. And in the third round, this happened. Canelo managed to knock out Nate Diaz with a beautiful uppercut in his UFC debut. Canelo shocked the world after gaining his first win in the UFC, and everyone is wondering if Canelo can beat a top contender. For this, Canelo knows that he must improve his skills on the ground, so he decided to train with the legend GSP. Canelo was ready for his next fight in the UFC. Now he had to face Gunnar Nelson, a guy known for his submissions. If Canelo beat him, he will be close to the top 15 of the welterweight division. The fight started, and of course Gunnar Nelson wanted to take Canelo to the ground, but he got up easily. Canelo was trying to make sound combination, but Gunnar Nelson landed a head kick that wobbled Canelo, and then he took it to the ground once again. Gunnar Nelson dominated the first round, but in the second, Canelo started to show his boxing and takedown defense, and once again that right hand landed. Canelo did his best to keep the fight on his feet and sent Gunnar Nelson to the canvas with an uppercut. And at the end of the second round, this happens. Canelo Alvarez defeats Gunnar Nelson with a spectacular knockout to get his second win in the UFC. Canelo was doing very well in the UFC, but in the future his journey will not be so easy. Canelo had started the year with a victory and wanted to expand his winning streak. For that, he continued training and preparing for his next fight, which will be against a ranked fighter. I'm talking about Colby Covington. If Canelo wins this fight, he will enter to the top 10 of the welterweight division. Colby, of course, did not want to exchange punches with Canelo and took him to the ground. Canelo tried to get up, but Colby immediately took him down. On the ground, Colby tried to make a submission, but Canelo managed to escape and stand up. Standing up, they started exchanging shots, and Canelo walled Colby Covington. And once again, Canelo landed a beautiful combination that sent Colby to the canvas, but Colby got up and took him down. On the ground, Colby tried another submission, but Canelo escapes one more time. When Canelo was getting better in the fight, Colby sent him to the canvas with an uppercut. But at the end of the third round, Canelo did this. And yes guys, Canelo Alvarez gets one more victory, this time defeated Colby Covington by TKO, and he enters to the top 10 of the division. Canelo was now on a 3-fight winning streak in the UFC, and everyone was talking about the transition from boxing to MMA and how well Canelo was doing in the UFC. Canelo was continuing to improve his skills heading into his next fight, because it will be the toughest fight of his MMA career against Shavkat Rakhmonov. If Canelo wins this fight, he will get closer to the title. But before you watch this crazy fight, if you like this kind of content, subscribe to the channel now. Shavkat was not afraid to exchange punches with Canelo, but he will pay for it very quickly. Canelo landed a right hand that wobbled Rakhmonov. After that, Canelo, using his head movement, managed to wobble Shavkat once again. And now Canelo landed a beautiful overhand that sent Rakhmonov to the canvas. But immediately Shavkat goes for a takedown. Canelo was in control of the fight, he just had to keep it standing, but something unexpected was about to happen. Shavkat landed two good punches that sent Canelo to the canvas. And seconds later, this happened. Shavkat Rakhmonov managed to defeat Canelo by landing 2 kicks in a row. This is the first knockout of his life and his first UFC loss. Canelo made a recovery after that knockout and started training again. The people started saying he was a great boxer and a good MMA fighter, but he was not good enough to be a champion. After his loss, Canelo is ranked number 12, and now he had to face the Irishman Ian Garry. Canelo was forced to win and went out looking for the victory. But the Irishman Ian Garry will not make it easy for Canelo. The fight was very intense and Canelo landed a left hand that put Garry in trouble. And once again that left hand landed flush. After that, Ian Garry landed a combination that wobbled Canelo. And at the end of the first round, Canelo did this. Canelo Alvarez took away Ian Garry's undefeated record with this knockout. And Canelo was back on the winning track and now was ranked number 6. Canelo was closer to the welterweight division title, but now he had to face a former champion like Kamaru Usman, a guy who had been challenging Canelo.
To fight Canelo?
Like if they started doing shit like that,
I would give it my all. I think I would take that. Absolutely.
Would you really?
If Canelo manages to beat him, he will only be one win away from the title shot. Canelo was very aggressive at the beginning of the fight, but Kamaru Usman just wanted to take him down. On the ground, Canelo was just surviving Usman punches. But some way, Canelo managed to get up quickly. So he had to take advantage of being on his feet, and he did it. No judges needed for this fight. Canelo was being dominated by Kamaru Usman on the ground, but standing up was different. Canelo landed a powerful hand that sent Kamaru Usman to the canvas, and Canelo got his 5th victory in the UFC. Canelo was ranked number 3 and was closer than ever to fight for the title. He only needed one more win. Meanwhile, Conor McGregor came back and defeated Belal Muhammad and was the new champion of the division. If Canelo beat Leon Edwards, he will face Conor McGregor for the title. Canelo started the fight trying to be aggressive by exchanging punches, but Leon Edwards made him wobble with 2 good punches. After that, Canelo landed a beautiful combination that put Leon in trouble, and he goes for the takedown. And Canelo would quickly get up. In the second round they started changing shots and Leon was in trouble again. But Canelo also had a problem. His legs were badly hurt. Despite that, Canelo dodged a kick and connected with a beautiful left hand that wobbled Leon Edwards. And in the 4th round, this happened. Canelo managed to beat Leon Edwards by TKO in the 4th round, and he gets a title shot. Now the hype was sky high. Canelo is going to face Conor McGregor in what will be the biggest fight in history, having more than 5 million in pay-per-view sales. If Canelo wins, he will become the first man to be champion in boxing and in the UFC. The fight started with both fighters being aggressive, and the first to land solid punches was Conor McGregor. After that, we will have a very crazy sequence. Canelo hit a combination that hurt Conor, and this happened next. Conor landed an uppercut that nearly put Canelo to sleep, and Canelo responded seconds later. The fight was being an absolute war, but Conor was landing better punches, and even sent Canelo to the canvas with a spinning kick. And when everyone expected that Canelo was going to lose, this happened. And Canelo did it. He defeated Conor McGregor by knockout in the 2nd round, and Saul Alvarez becomes the first man to become champion in boxing and in the UFC.